Christian. Hi. 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 Can you see my pumpkin?
Oh, yes. Yes, I can. Yeah, mine's out the front.
I couldn't be answering the door and doing this at the same time, so I thought, you know what? It's just going to have to be inside.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Are they doing trick or treat your way then?
Sort of, I think. Not really. I'm on this like street sort of WhatsApp group, and they said we're going to be going around, if you just leave like a bucket of candy outside,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Damn, it has God's Danish thing. Whoops. Jen.
Hi, Jess.
Oops. Okay, I'm muting myself. We're watching International Velvet and I'm eating Kit Kats. I'll see you when it starts.
Yep.
That sounded just like you.
That's my sister.
Ah.
Yeah.
Do you want to make me a co-host?
Yes, I better do that now. Okay. Make co-host. Yep.
Ooh.
It says that worked.
Okay.
Now, I was trying to think, was there some, okay. So good, no, it is working now. All right. Because I did a practice, but it was just a basic Zoom, just with me, and I tried to split the screen and it wouldn't do it. So I was like, oh, damn, why is that not working? But I can see it's going to work. It's working on mine.
Just checking. I'm sure you haven't put down as well, have you?
No, of course not. No.
You might have done a walk, you see. So I'm just checking.
No.
I just didn't want to go down and have to find who's already done. Come on.
Yeah, come on. No, we're not starting until 6.
I'll tell you when I'm going.
John doesn't get it, when I'm in a meeting. He comes anyway,
Nothing is sacred.
It's when I'm in a work meeting and I have to quickly go mute. And then I have to kind of go out of sight so the people can't see that I'm talking to my husband. It's like, oh, please. Anyway, I need to find these. I need to find this PowerPoint, which I have put somewhere. And can't find at the moment. Oh.
Sure. And none of the poets have said to me, oh, I want to add another poem. So fine. Hopefully. Well, if one of them says, oh, can I, I'd like to read another one, I'll just say, stick it on, put it on the end,
Yeah.
I am going to say in the beginning, good evening, blah, 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 hello, da, da. You'll be muted for the readings and unmuted for reactions, I guess, yeah, unmuted for reactions after the readings.
Okay, yeah.
Or they can use their reaction button. And then, and I'm just going to say, if you would like to have your screen in half so that you can see the text on one side and the poet on the other, put your cursor, basically I'm talking to my mother when I'm saying this. Okay.
Okay. I can't share my screen at the moment.
You can't do what?
I can't share my screen.
Uh-oh. Shit. Okay, hold on. Why not?
I have my slideshow ready, but
oh God, Caroline.
Oh my gosh, I should be able to. Hang on.
And it says that you disabled your participant screen sharing.
No, I've made Caroline the co-host.
Okay, because it says host disabled screen. I'll leave you alone. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. Hang on.
I'm just changing it.
How can she see that? I can't see that.
Because she's going to see if she can share the screen, which is kind of Aha. Right. Okay.
Ooh, yep, it says, yep, there you go.
Okay, good. Right, I'll stop the share now. It's
Great.
all ready. That was just to demonstrate that it's all ready.
Great.
We didn't want to have that conversation that we've just had after you'd introduced the first poet, did you?
No. And after I've said, and you'll see this and you'll see that.
I can't share my screen. What it does mean is anyone can share their screen.
Go ahead if they want to share their screen. Whatever they're sharing, I don't care.
Oh, we've got Andrew King in the waiting room.
Don't know who he is, but that's fine.
Okay,
He
well,
can just wait.
He can wait, yeah.
He can wait. I don't want too many people. I want to be able to panic without everyone here.
The list you sent me, the latest one is everyone alphabetically by Christian name. Not that it matters.
Well, I did that because I was thinking, I don't know. I mean, I just thought, does it matter, like, what name they have for you? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no. I mean, the thing is, I'm probably going to just, as we get busy, I'm just going to let. What happens is a whole bunch arrive in the waiting room, and you tend just to let them through.
Yeah. Once it's 6, let's just let them in. You know.
Yeah.
6 p.m. They can. Yeah. The poets, a couple of them said they might want to come in early, and I said, fine. You know, fine. Yeah. So if we see Mícheál, Sandra, or Phoebe enter, then we can let them in case they have a question or something.
Yes.
And what else? I think that's it. Oh, I got one person who said she might be late. And I said, that's okay. I've got someone who will be keeping an eye on the waiting room.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's like, you know, she's got someone at her house, but she said, I hope they're leaving by 6. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got screen share. We've got the ability to mute people.
Yep.
That's all we need.
Yes. Yeah, we can kick them out as well if they start causing trouble.
If they start silently causing trouble, we can't hear them anyway.
No. You know, they can hold up a banner.
Oh, God.
Saying Jay Grigg for president or something. You know?
I know, I was thinking, not only is it's Halloween, it's a full moon, apparently. One of them.
Yeah.
And Johnson's going to announce some kind of lockdown. Apparently.
Sandra's.
Okay, let's admit her. I see.
I just have.
Okay.
Here she is.
Yay. It's fun seeing them. I mean, I don't know if she can hear. Can she hear us? Maybe not.
Probably.
Yeah. Hi, Sandra. By the time I sent you everything, I think it was 92 invites. But if half of them show up, I'll be thrilled. So
I'm just messaging the waiting room, so
great.
Can you see me? Because I can't see myself.
No. Can't see you.
I wonder why. Yeah. Okay.
It says you've got your video off.
That's what I find. Start video. Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
Yay.
Hello.
There you are.
Oh, it's a terrific book, Sandra. I can say this now to you before the others arrive. I haven't read the others actually, but no, I thought it was fabulous.
Thank you. Does that look okay? The lighting.
Yeah, it's God. I struggled to get because my office is quite dark, and I had to kind of bring in an extra light. Otherwise, yours seems fine.
my ceiling light on. I need to be able to read. Okay. How are you? Have you heard any more dreaded things about the forthcoming lockdown?
I haven't, I haven't heard. I'm sort of hoping that has he already announced? Has he done it at 5 or not?
No, as usual. He was supposed to come out at 5, but he hasn't come out.
People will have like one eye on their TV, I'm sure.
There's been an embargoed press release.
Yeah, I heard Robert Preston saying something.
Yeah, which Sean has had the gist of, and it's kind of total lockdown again, basically.
But of course for schools
for a month,
and universities.
Yeah, schools and universities, nurseries staying open, but
yeah,
I think it's for a month, isn't it, or something?
Yes,
yeah,
for a month. That the hope is that they'll it'll enable us to socialize again at Christmas. But I mean, it actually, sorry, I'm keeping an eye on the waiting room. I mean, the number of deaths is just going to skyrocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, they needed to have moved faster early.
They should have had a circuit breaker.
Yeah. I know. Honestly, everyone I know could run this government better than they are right now.
Not quite as bad as over the pond, but
no, yeah, not quite as bad, but that's saying something. I mean, over the pond is like some kind of, as they say, a dumpster fire in a car crash. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, very scary. Yeah,
horrible.
We've got 10 in the waiting room now.
Good. We're expecting 92.
Sorry?
Oh, it's shot up.
It has. I admit, I did send several people invitation, like sort of sent them a ticket. But that doesn't mean they're gonna, So but honestly, I think it was over 65 without me doing that.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And then, I mean, if we got 40, I'd be thrilled,
Oh, I should think we will, actually. I mean, what else are people going to be doing this evening?
Exactly. And I was thinking, most of these people probably don't have small children. They're either pre-small children or post-small children. So they're not trick-or-treating, are they?
Hope not. I've disabled my doorbell just in case.
Yeah.
There's a relative of yours in the waiting room, Sandra, Jenny Galton.
Oh, that's my daughter-in-law.
All right.
Daughter-in-law and son. That's nice. One of my sons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're coming in now. We've got 20.
How does it work? Do you let batches in?
Yeah, we can do.
Don't worry. I just
Yes, so basically, I will just announce that, I said to Mícheál, did he want to add a poem? Because he sort of had the shortest amount of poems. And he hasn't got back to me. And if he does, he can just add it on the end of his thing, because we've got all the kind of text, PowerPointed, so if he just wants to add one, that's fine. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll just say that if he shows up.
I don't see the poets yet, the other poets, unless we've got an iPad QD, which might be one of them, I suppose. And then we've got something called Owner.
Yeah, hard to know. I see a couple of Phoebe's relatives. So,
right, that's good.
Yeah.
Shall I tell them in the waiting room they would be helpful if they have their names?
Yeah, can they do that?
ID? Yeah, you can rename yourself even in the waiting room, I think.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, you could send them a little note.
Okay.
Julian's coming. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, you could let them know that.
Yeah, I've told them.
Okay.
Shall I give them 3 minutes and then we'll let them in?
Yeah. Yeah, we can let them in just before 6. I mean, what have I've got 17:57 on my screen.
Yes, so have I.
Yeah.
Unless you're a poet. We will.
Yeah.
Open the door. Oh, Phoebe. Phoebe W?
Yep, that should be her.
Ah, and Mícheál is there as well.
Oh, good. Hi.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm very weirdly lit.
It's okay. Hi, Mícheál, you're not in costume.
Do you know what? I've had such a hectic day, and then I got home and was like I'm just a hypocrite, honestly. I know. I was gonna go as like do like a subtle thing, like maybe like paint some like puncture marks on my neck, and then I thought like people might think there's like a love bite or something, so I just thought that's not.
I feel like the real world situation right now is horrifying enough that we can all dispense in costume.
That is true.
So straight. Let me see.
Yeah.
Right, we've got tons of people in the waiting room now.
Good, good. 32 people.
Yep. Oh, yep. Steve Kendall's there.
Good, good. Maybe I'll close my. I'm gonna close the waiting room on my side.
Oh, okay.
Just on my side. I'm gonna make my screen. I'm gonna make my screen a bit bigger. So Mícheál, I sent you an email. It doesn't matter at all. I'm just saying, like, I know you've been really busy, saying like, did you want to add a poem? And if you did want to add one, you can just stick it on the end of your reading, but you don't have to add one. It's just you had kind of a shorter.
Yeah, I mean, because I was just gonna like wax a bit, but yeah, maybe actually a poem would probably be better than that. Yeah, maybe I'll do you know, I'll just maybe read the last one.
Okay.
Maybe.
You don't mind just sticking it on having it at the end though. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Okay, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Just because we've got all the text sort of, in order.
Fabulous.
So
right, it's the witching hour, folks. It's 6, so I'm going to hit the admit all button.
Oh, wow.
41 of them now.
Yeah, and including us who are here, it's 47. That's good. And we can give them like a couple of. We'll wait like about maybe we'll wait till 5 past, and then I'll do my techno thing.
Sure.
Or my sort of hello, this is how it's going to work thing. Now, technical question, Caroline.
Yeah.
If I was going to tell them to drag their cursor to the middle if they want to have the screen divided, does that only work when when you've shared the screen?
Yes, I think probably it does.
Okay.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
We made it.
Good, good.
I don't know if I'm there or not. Am I there?
Or in this pod.
No, I know, but I don't know why it's. Oh, that's why. Oh, we're there, nobody else is.
I
This is Andrew and Jane.
no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, no.
Caroline.
Yeah.
Somebody is sharing their screen.
Good.
How do we get rid of that? Stop participants sharing. Should I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to click it. There we go. Right. So we'll give it just a few more minutes.
Hey. Tammy is here as well.
Oh, good.
There's two. Oh, yeah, there's Laura.
We've got a nice full house.
Not part of it though.
She's got the same trick with her mouth as the.
It's not a trick. It's a defect, I think.
As the other famous announcer.
Yeah, no, I think it's
something wrong with the brain.
a hair lip or something.
Caroline,
Mm-hmm.
it seems that not everyone's muted.
I'm just going to ask everyone.
Yeah, that would be great.
Hi, Sandra. Can you see us?
Oops.
Right, it's almost 5 past. What do we think?
Well, you're going to record it, so latecomers could catch up later, I guess.
Yep, that's happening. Okay, let's begin. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Green Bottle Press Poetry Pamphlet launch of 2020. It's wonderful to see you all, and I especially want to thank several people who are joining from a different time zone even. So thanks for that. I want to thank Caroline Davies, who is doing sort of tech support, which is very welcome. Just technically, you will be muted during the readings and unmuted for reactions, or you can use your reaction button. We've got a PowerPoint of the book covers and then each poem as it's being read. So that, should give you a chance to read along and hopefully deal with any kind of sound issues that the poets might have, and generally help with overall comprehension. If you want to, once we've started screen sharing, if you want to, you can move your cursor to the right-hand side of the screen. And if you drag the cursor across, you'll get a half screen. So you'll have the text on one side, and then you'll see the poet reading on the other. But you don't have to, you'll just have the text in the middle and you can hear the poet. But if you want to sort of fiddle with your screen, you just drag your cursor across and you'll get a half screen image. So This evening, we've got 3 poets reading: Sandra Galton, Mícheál McCann, and Phoebe Walker. These are their debut pamphlets, and we're going to start with Sandra Galton. I'll give you a little intro. Sandra completed an MA in writing poetry at the Poetry School in 2017. She's half Danish, but has lived most of her adult life in London working as a musician. And one of the blurbs on the back of the book from Tammy Osseloff says, she explores the complexities of the psyche with great bravado and often sardonic humor. When I chose her work, I was particularly attracted to, among other things, her facility with form and her precision. And hopefully you'll be able to see that when the image is on your screen. So, Sandra, if you'd like to, we're going to share the screen. Yes, and if you want to move your cursor over a bit, then you'll be able to see Sandra reading. Anyway, take it away, Sandra.
Thank you, Jennifer, and for all your hard work in making this come together. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me well. First, I'd like to say what an absolute pleasure it has been to get to know Jennifer and to have her as my publisher. In the early stages of putting the pamphlet together, she visited me a couple of times at my house. It was completed just before lockdown, so unfortunately at that point, she couldn't come inside to share the excitement of looking at it together with me. But she dropped off copies on my doorstep, and it was very strange seeing Jennifer standing at the end of my path, bemasked and begloved. Tonight I'm going to read a selection of poems that I hope are a good mix of light and shade. And the first poem I'm going to read is Titan. If you have the book, it's page 2. At the time I wrote this, I was reading a lot of Ted Hughes, and I referenced 2 of his collections here: Prometheus on his crag, and more obviously, Crow. The room where I do most of my writing is an attic conversion with a flat roof, which is a favorite visiting place for a lot of birds, especially crows. And one day I heard a tremendous racket above my head, and going out into the garden, I saw a crow up on the roof there pushing a huge bone around. Titan. Ted Hughes is up on my roof again, dropping bones to extract the marrow. I hear him more and more these days, so often I think he's moving in. It must be hard work with legs like that. I sense pain in his corvid waddle, and there is so much he has to shift. At times his hammering shows madness. Tap, tap becomes badum, then thwack, followed by a lull when I imagine his craggy skull contorting with angst. Oh, Ted, perhaps you're not able to fly, but are shackled there like Prometheus, alone on my roof, a glowing ember clutched in one claw as you wait for the vulture to come gorge on your liver. And now I'm going to read the first poem in the book, Shadow on the Wall. To become wise, you must learn to listen to the wild dogs barking in your cellar. Mícheál. There's a dog down in the cellar, dog tired, stopped as a burnt-out log, paws awry like scrapped faggots, ears flattened, damped. This is no way to keep him. No quickening comes from the muzzle, blue as dusk taping to crosshatch snout. The night is long, he's done with whimpering, so still he might be flatlining. But wait, there's spark in him yet. His small rose ears twitch back. Give him a moment to catch his breath, see him shimmer into life. Now he is upright, front legs ramrod straight, hind quarters mirrored question marks, a spring unleashed. Now we see his kind, matchless oomph. Give him air. Pacing wall to corner, wall to corner, wall to door, he is yours. Open that door. Watch him turn and twist and burst, a blur, shameless in the naked light. See how he scorches. Keep up. He's yours. Extend your hand to touch him. He burns, but does not bite. The next poem I'm going to read is The Dystopia Game on page 5. This is a poem which I think can apply to many different types of situation in life. And after that, I'll read Brawn, The Dystopia Game. Well, this is how we play. There are 2 teams, us and you. We'll be us, but we can also cross over and become you. We're only human. You get to speak first, but we prefer it if you don't ask questions. We have to work out what's wrong with you. But first, you have to tell us what you think is wrong with you, or the game can't start. We have the right to remain silent, but if you remain silent, you lose a turn. We may tell you what we think you may be thinking. You may reply, but we may choose not to comment. Round 2. If you still don't know what's wrong with you, we'll set a timer, and for every minute that passes where you show no enlightenment, you will lose points. We will decide how many. Telling us something we know already doesn't count. If you tell us something we don't know, we will file it. You may claim it back, but only when your score surpasses ours. Try not to invent. It will get you nowhere. Points accrue from round to round. There is only one way to win, which we will determine as we go along. No, there are no clues. If you lose, we will cite you as an example of how not to play the game. Now, Brawn, on page 7. And for those of you unfamiliar with pig speak, there's a glossary down the side. Yeah, and have beauty me, big porker, grunter, stinker, though no flies on me, niff niff. Yeah, brains me have, me polymath, me multilingual, speak crumb crumb and oink. Me trotters, even toad, hoof hoof, stonker ronker, sweeter fifth, scratch chin, me roll in clover, loll in muck, me scrub, me snork, snout toothy, yeah, and jelly, curly tail, me ears all funnel, no silk, no purse, sleep on straw, stink puff, lummy, me hot, no sweat, run fast, me jump, no fly, head on bench now, why? Me cognoscenti, knows all smells, nor is clothes and bay. Why brush? Why flame? Why pot? And now I'm going to move on to some more serious poems. Firstly, a sonnet, There is a Door, on page 12, which is about going with my brother to see my father in the hospice where he had just died. There was a door that could have been left shut, so there would be no need to see winter's landscape. Imagine simply spring might know his face again. We were told, please wait. No corridor ever felt so safe, each pulse, each breath, untaken. That door then, we entered, green as lambs, kneading one another's flesh, expecting what? Some outward sign, a crown perhaps, or wings, a dog beneath his feet, but he lay still the same, and his sameness made us weep. And the next poem is Mícheál on page 13. It came from deep, deep down in the well, animal low, dark down below the water, a rumble, rattling its monstrous bowels, shaking the walls. It rose, bruising its throat, but the throat couldn't hold it. It ripped and tore through its gullet, exploding onto the day. Its shapelessness lay all over everything. It convulsed and retched, and out of the retch came children, running with no clothes, with skin, with luminous flesh falling and melting, and children so starved they might not have been children, just bones, children bearing age on their faces, and men with dismembered bodies, limbs blown off, wasted penises, foreheads in shreds, and again the wretch spewed, and out through the bitter bile came the clasped hands of women, clasping the air, and soft nests of hair. The wretch heaved once more, and out came a womb, a single tear that spoke, Lord, look what you've made me do. And now another sonnet about my experience of becoming a mother for the first time. This new thing on page 14. These first moments so fiercely held. Is it possible, this thing I've done? I'll hold you fast a while. Let the worlds pull weight. In one sense you're lost, gone already. What's left is love and dread in equal measure. Hear me, new shape, stuck to mine, small unsuspecting head at my breast. I see a familiar landscape, we might walk together, but the circuit is not drawn, there is no map. Dear brave thing, since our orbits may spin side by side, overlap, give me some sign I am good enough. New mother to your newhood. And now two more sonnets. Ingress on page 15. And then Dear Blutner, which is a poem about my relationship with my piano, which is behind me. Ingress. You seeped onto my blotting paper so silently. To begin with, I barely noticed. I'm not sure when you first touched me with your weeping pen, the one that hemorrhaged. Before, you'd simply been there on my sheet, two happy dots above a curlicue of cautious script. Before ink bled without symmetry, eclipsing speech. How do you plead? Innocence or part ownership? This is no Rorschach inkblot, this blotch, this splodge. No human form is realized yet, neither butterfly nor burnt wings of moth. Can it be all mine, this wayward forest with no fleck of moon to light the way? If folded now, will it make two faces, nose to nose, brow to brow? Dear Blutner, page 18. Face to face, we are almost one, yet there is a moment in the black stillness of your gaze when I do not wish to see myself mirrored, almost naked, the new lover a little shy. Unnerved by your soundless poise, your unflinching contemplation, I'm unsure now I want to play, but at my touch, your fingers give, answering mine. And I know nothing other than that this mutual pressure will fill the room with song. I'd like to finish with two poems reflecting on mortality. The first is an ekphrastic poem after a painting by Paul Nash called Flight of the Magnolia. Nash had a childhood fascination with flight, and he also had a lifelong preoccupation with mortality, very much influenced by his own ill health. the end of his life, he painted a series of floating flower paintings, mostly sunflowers, to express the cyclical nature of life and death. And from his garden flat in Oxford, he had a few of beautiful magnolia trees, which is the subject for this giant floating magnolia flower of his painting. It said he took comfort from imagining his own death to be something like an eternity of fragrant and gentle drifting through the air. Flight of the Magnolia. When it comes, it'll be like this. The nothingness of white, but veined with pink, time's thumbprint, cupped palms opening to the sky, safe as swan's wings. The calm of an eye will draw you in beneath its latticed heart, origin of the storm, and you'll be carried like a scent, weightless through the air. And to finish, I'm going to read the final poem in the book, Coda, which is a slightly tongue-in-cheek fantasy about just a few of the things that I love and would hope to find in an afterlife if such a thing exists. But there must be garlic, loads of it, blushing pink heads strung over the handlebars of an old French vélo, Monsieur in his Breton shirt and sun-bleached dungarees, hot cross bun face whistling through pure sweet toothlessness. There must be the old Wig Bach, all of his music, and him, the man, patting the head of Giovanni Battista Pergolesi. Poor boy, he was too young to die. And trumpets, always trumpets. There must be Beckett, buried up to his neck in sand or earth, still searching for answers. And Paul Auster. Sorry, Paul, no, you're not dead yet. There must be blue, endless blue, such blinding blue it hurts the eyes, and blue so deep you can only imagine it. There must be goats being milked for cheese, their small hooves trampling Syrah grapes to make red wine, only red. Ah, the smell of goat. And there must be elephants discussing the day, peacocks crying as if tomorrow had already been, and Harpo Marx, beautiful, anarchic, chasing every girl, slipping into seriousness when he plays the harp. There must be eternal spring, Stravinsky conducting the write-off, whipping all his sprites into shape. Occasionally there must be a fresh fall of snow, the kind that doesn't speak a word, merely balances on the thinnest of thin high wires. There must be Dylan Thomas and all of Larragub dreaming, blind Captain Cat, Mrs. Diebread too with her crystal ball, no good boyo in the wash house, Mrs. Waldo calling, Waldo, Waldo, what'll the neighbours say? There must be Schubert hearing for the very first time his own quintet, and there must be the 60s again and again, the songs of Dylan, Tom Lehrer, with hippies strolling barefoot over wide seas of grass, green and moist, going beyond beyondness into stilled forests of pine, resinous, warm, where there must be floors of parched needles, crunching beneath each footstep, pricking the soles like tiny bee stings.
Thank you, Sandra. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. Great. And we have another musician next. Mícheál McCann is from Derry. He's currently working on a PhD in Belfast. He has had some of his poems set to music for the Derry International Choral Festival. He won the inaugural Ireland Chair of Poetry Student Prize in 2019 and was recently shortlisted in the Oxford Brookes International Poetry Competition. Mark Doty says on the back of the book, there's a freshness to his gaze as he studies Irish landscapes and men's hearts, and his voice is both straightforward and artfully oblique. It's the playfulness of his language that attracted me to his work, and a very delicate unpicking of emotion. So please, Mícheál. Oh, one technical thing. Mícheál is going to read one poem that's sort of not in the text, but it will come at the end of his reading. So please.
Thanks, Jennifer. Good evening, everybody. Happy Halloween. I'm speaking to you all from Belfast. I suppose, as a way of introduction, I should just say that having this pamphlet published with Green Bottle was so lovely, because I kind of observed the press from afar for a while, and there's so much care put into this slim volume, so I was really delighted. And Jennifer and I actually got to meet in London. I think it was in early February, before the world went mad. So this pamphlet of poems is about a lot of different things, I guess, but being a queer person in the north of Ireland. But I suppose after Sandra's quite stirring reading, it's appropriate, I guess. I'm going to start and read two poems about music. My mother's a violinist, so there's a sequence of poems that start the pamphlet called Etudes, which are short technical exercises. So there are two short poems I'll start with. So these are Etudes, and this is number 1. I think that's the first one. I'll read the first one. I'm reading a different one just now, but I'll go to that one after. I'll go to concerts in the Ulster Hall a few times a year to see the violin soloists. My friends think that this is because I want to learn the fingerboard electric dashes of the Shostakovich or the Barber. Nothing so heroic. I go in the hope that something goes wrong. The gold-plated E string snapping mid-cadenza. An earring slipping off, bouncing on the chin rest, then the floor, pop, pop, bang. How these people can deal with disaster at a moment's notice. The string snapping in the middle of a mournful B section of something Tchaik-like. Could I learn this coping? I should say my mum's a violinist, and I was planning to go to music college, and obviously that path didn't materialize for me. So this little sequence of poems charts, I guess, self-dissatisfaction about not doing that. And this last poem is subtitled Amateur Prayer, so you might guess the trajectory that the sequence takes you in. 4. I pick up my violin that wishes it remained a forest. Or shall I wait until
Hold on a second.
Sorry.
I think we're getting someone else's shared screen.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. Sorry about that.
Don't worry, no worries.
I'm getting my my Caroline Davies, my tech help. She's trying.
I could only see what I was sharing. I couldn't see anyone else. So hang on, let me try again.
Yeah. Sorry, Mícheál.
Don't worry about it. So I'm not very technical.
There we go.
Have we? Yeah, good.
Yay.
Okay, I'll start again. 4. I pick up my violin that wishes it remained a forest. On a Sunday that is milky with undammed rain, I watch the soloists, so giant I decorate their ankles with iron lanterns, that my children will remember them. Execute this piece precisely. I struggle to write the word perfectly, unsure what it looks like. Content is a word I'm prioritizing as my fingers clump like cheese over chords I cannot play. Sing a song. Play, she'll say, and toast our amateurism. It's the only thing we have left. So as a way of, the next poem I'm going to read is about a traditional music pub in Derry. And it's set at Christmas, which is obviously going to be a bit more of a fraught time this year, which pains me to say that. But every year, the debate comes up about the song Fairy Tale of New York. You know, the pamphlet thinks about where ideas of safety for LGBT people and queer people, whatever. And I guess this poem dramatizes being in a pub at Christmas, and then the slur, like the F-bomb, whatever you want to call it, in Fairy Tale of New York, is sung by a bar full of people, and how that maybe changes the dynamic of a space. So it's called Patters. Christmas was light sore and slipping away, and Derry was ready for the darkened room. The traditional music pub, heavy with flags for ceiling, recently-ish replaced a Versailles rectangle panel with a shout of a rainbow. If the banjo player is leading this quintet, the beardy, pint-kissed dancers conduct. Exerted with holding the whole thing together, his neck is murray, full of blood. Everyone cheers when Fairy Tale starts. Even the bartenders stop, teeth full of milk. There are more teeth, more smiles than ways to feasibly escape. Brace, brace. A bar-wide survey has everyone's lips bared for fanfare, and he says it around a grin. They proclaim it. The wind hurries in. No one hears the last orders. I guess in a way that is quite spooky, so maybe pertinent to Halloween. Mild homophobia, you know. The next poem I'm going to read is another ekphrastic poem, which, if you aren't familiar, is poems about paintings, which I guess are kind of spooky in and of themselves. But I had the fortune to be taught by the great Kieran Carson when I was in the Heaney Centre in Belfast, who passed away this month last year, actually. So I wrote a poem after a poem of his where he responds to an Edward Hopper painting in his collection Breaking News. So this is after and for Kieran Carson. Edward Hopper, early Sunday morning, 1939. Opal and shallow sea marrying in the sky. Good morning, they say. Street below stirring. Gap of one sheer drape to the next. Shaped like a body, painted dark. The shops yawn, still bleary. No coffee in sight. You notice what the shadows do, while we fume at the queue to get our mustache taken in. Snip, snip, scratch. You, smirking man, sketching the waiting room in pencil, oily grease on boards, or a gleam, gold tooth, joke you don't get yet. Muggy outside on 7th, the avenue empty, bar those awake this early, finding time. So now we're going to lift the tone of the poems. I'm going to read more hopeful, energetic poems now. So this is a love poem, and was also written at a point when we would be on planes and all that nonsense quite regularly. And it's called Leaving London for Belfast, and it's for my partner Andrew. Yeah, if I could, I would just live in a country house somewhere. I am not a city slicker, so this comes across, I think, in this poem. Rather be parochial than suitcase weary, and tie bonded, and slow to laugh, and desperate to walk the opposite direction quickly. Rather be coastal than coughing, slow in our going than quiet with wanting. Bless this plane, carrying us over what we cannot swim. My tired thighs hear where we're going o'er the tannoy, and I can hear Jo Stafford smiling as she sings. I missed you. I hope for a life vest under my seat to realize I was wearing it all along. So a lot of these poems are usually set inside and look outside. And this poem is, a lot of the poems in the pamphlet are quite devotional, I guess. Yeah, Jennifer and I have had a lot of interesting conversations about this, but the next poem I'm going to read is about video games and my younger brother, and I guess at the moment where we're all inside, this poem kind of speaks in a different way than I expected it to. It's called Apology. Sleep is not answering the phone, while the directors of our terrain, we imagine them as coyotes in carrot-coloured pantsuits. Ignore the line that runs red hot along the gated field by our house. You, fireboy, lavish inside. The day's sun knocks against your drawn curtains. And from the outside, your room flashes with strobe bang brilliance. An Irish heat distorts the pavement, but fear not, you are building a city. This room you came in, your bolt hole was mine long ago, but I lost the deed. Keep it, and keep your hands molded around what allows control of your world. When I roar about reading or wild herbs, I only envy this wonderful new world you craft. It's crystal blue water. How the villagers shout hail to everyone. This world built block by grassy block, gold brown truffles, fish leap the river. Your brow is smooth, no telltale furrow. I pull the curtain tighter, settle to watch. So I'm going to read just one more poem and then hand over to Phoebe. But again, just want to say I'm so delighted that this pamphlet's a thing. So thank you, Jennifer, and also for you all for listening. I know you're all muted, but it feels like it's very rapt on it. So yes, this poem isn't on the little text, but it's a very short poem at the end of the pamphlet. I think it's quite a hopeful turn from inside to outside, and it's set on a train. And it's called Prayer. Looking down absently into a train table, like it'll tell me. A phone's black mirror lets downcast eyes see sheep gutty clouds in an August sky, in the glass of a locked phone. Turning upward to the real thing, my eyes are lit. Thanks for listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mícheál. That was wonderful. And every time I hear that poem, Apology, I think about siblings, and I think a lot of love comes through in that poem, as well as lots of other things. And I really appreciate that. As my sister in America is actually on this Zoom call, which is, I haven't seen her in a long time. Hi. Anyway. Lovely poem. Right, our last reader, last but not least, is Phoebe Walker, who is joining us, I think, from Manchester. And she was born in Northumberland, recently moved back from the Netherlands in the middle of all this chaos to live in Manchester. She won the Martin Crawford Poetry Award in 2019 and a Northern Writers Award for Poetry in 2012. On the back of the pamphlet, Caroline Bird says of Phoebe's poetry, it is visceral and chewy. You can feel the blood pumping through the language. And Ella Freer says, her language is deliciously odd and beautifully surprising. And what really attracted me was the way she creates entire worlds and then peoples them with different characters who I feel she uses to explore facets of her own personality, but also the human condition. And Phoebe had to wait, I think, about 2 years for this to be published because I'd taken on too much work in the year that I saw hers. But I loved it so much, I said, right, can you stand to wait? And luckily she did. So thank you very much, Phoebe, and over to you.
Right, thank you, Jennifer, and thank you. I'll echo Mícheál and Sandra in just saying how lovely it's been to work with you and Gwyn Bottle, and I'm really sorry we haven't actually had a chance to meet yet due to living in the Netherlands and also COVID, but I'm really looking forward to the day when we do get to, which I'm sure we will. I'm going to read 7 poems this evening, and don't worry, most of them are quite short, and I won't say too much about them except to say that I think quite a few of them are suitably otherworldly for a Halloween reading. So I'll start with the very first poem in the pamphlet, which is Sunday, very early morning. These last days in the compound are slow and pleasant. Ants boogaloo to distant explosions. I sip liqueur from a thin-stemmed glass. Things are blooming hectically inside of me. I like these Americanisms, their childish twang. I put a thumb to the broad orange shoulder of Abschnitt, my beloved, my faithful one. His mouth a hoop of black mesh, his body bashful putty, under the stripes and epaulettes. I have learnt to live with the heat. I have learnt the habit of success. I bristle, don't bleat. I sweat, don't sleep through the night. Though Abschnitt, he dozes now and then. We have been such friends these 13 years. His head wobbles on its slim cord. His laughter flickers in my gut. The jagged daylight suggests retreat, while the tree drops her fruit with a grunt. Abschnitt fizzes privately. Beyond our watchtower, what am I saying? The earth, she prickles. The next poem, I know I said these were all quite short, this is actually my longest poem, I think, and it's called Pastoral, and this is the poem that won the Crawford Award that Jennifer mentioned earlier, and it's in 4 sections. So, Pastoral. 1. I was born after 4 brothers, precisely when I'm yet to learn. They rear us in the cleft between 2 mountains, in the brown of indifferent countryside, where we shuck lake trout, arching our arms with the knife as though aiming a bow. Our insides are vaulted with tiny bones, stained with watermint which grows like clouds. I suck the tips of my brother's fingers like a young lamb. I put seed husks and stones in my pocket. And just watch, says mother sourly, how they do not grow. Father is as tall as our lake is deep, our lake a black ovoid, a flat gong against which he sounds himself, green and clear. I will never be as tall, I think. I eat too little fish. I lack a young man's ambition. 2. My brother's children grew like corn. I couldn't keep track. I caught one between my knees. Martha, I said, Martha, will you tell me? This is Sean. Sean, the mother said in a high voice. She put a cup in my hand. I felt that if I stared long enough at the meniscus, I would see sky in its interior, would see the green heart of the air. Where then is Martha? I challenged my sister, my brother's wife, some poor species of a sister. Ah, I thought, she doesn't meet my eye. Something is amiss. I nodded once. I was confabulating with my cup in absence of trustworthy conversation. I swear, Martha, I swore to the porcelain disc in my palm, I will get to the bottom of this. 3. Something jumps in the lake. The lake has a bloodbeat, and if you know this, you are a rarefied person. By the shore, a girl hosts arachnid chatter. The pain of bees moans in her belly. A dolorous fly courts the mulch of her face. Amid this slack mirth, the lake pulses. It ticks with its 1,000 grains of matter. 4. The youngest was oh so young when she left. I keep a green flame burning, small and sore, to show how her leaving hurts us. I'm getting smaller every day here, and I say, she is growing as I shrink. She sits at a chrome counter, orders hot chicken with napkins, ketchup, a flock of salt. If that's how you make your dinner, you can't help but grow strong. She has taken the milky heart of the bird meant for me. She is stringing the white heart to pieces, and I am not bitter. Martha and I sit by the lake, wringing our hands. We share a temperament, very calm, very knowing. The next poem I'll read is called Bad Beef. It's on page 8 in the pamphlet, if you're reading along. This is definitely probably the most occult poem, so yeah, suitable for this evening. Bad Beef. I chose the name. I chose to be called Bad Beef. Do you love it? The little sly women of the heath and mouseholes all clapped very solemn when they heard. It is good to be part of something. It is a tonic. The smallest and the thinnest told me, over schnapps, that if not now, then when? And if not me, then who? She had bare arms and a fine silky moustache. I was embarrassed to serve her this schnapps of truly indifferent quality, for who knows how discerning these women are. I lost the import of our conversation, but said tamely that it would be a pleasure to serve, which I meant. I saw us as two young girls fishing for coins in the city fountains. For every coin you find, she said, the hospice serves one apple less, and we plunged furious fists through the chemical shallows. Bad beef. I came glowing to myself, drawing the schnapps slowly through my teeth, as though straining a syrup. I said frankly, I'm afraid this is very poor stuff. Then, are you sure you want the likes of me for this? The smallest and the thinnest said, oh, none better. Duty. She placed the flat of her hand, which was like the face of an embryonic calf, flush against the table. Duty. I saw that in subsequent days the hand would fall with greater velocity, that the thin-stemmed misty glasses would tremble, then snap, that the gelatinous tone in which she now queried bad beef would become sinew, derisive statement of fact, bad beef. I saw this and still was powerless to retreat. I smelt the chlorine in my palm like glamour. I will, I said weakly to the smallest and thinnest. I resolved to buy fine meat and drink. The next poem is called His Name is Roy. That's a bit lighter in tone, and it does give you an animal from the promised title, Animal Noises. So, his name is Roy. The cat below my window is named Roy. Roy's mother, Shona, has red hair, and the maisonette upstairs. Shona smokes, on occasion drives, without precision, a car so purple-black I call it aubergine. I envy her Roy, that supreme and masterless creature, but nothing else. I spent an entire day this week carrying loads of washing in my arms. Life is a dream. I turned the clothes upon the radiator, replacing the dryer with the wetter. There will be more days like this, I should think, I thought, hugging myself. I polished a view through the window to watch Roy, whose green eyeballs pulse. He is suspicious of my comings and goings. I need a cream for the wide fur of Roy's stomach. It makes me itch. Roy, I tell him, Roy, look. I show him my hot, fat arm. He's a cheeky bastard, says Shona loudly, from the very small hole in her Roy-watching lips. The next poem, I'm going back in the pamphlet a bit. This is page 2. And this is called Dinner Ningbo. Eating nightly in this tired port is becoming less than we were promised. I thumb my tongue around fungus and the spectral leavings of geese. She sips tepid water from a gold-ringed mug. Earlier, we'd watched the sharp towers and black stone sodden with heat, spoke of sharing a buzzing behind the eyes at night. We both take things we oughtn't. There are books in her briefcase she knows nothing about, not even the titles. But I remember stories long after the names have gone. A smart lady in a black coat with a small dog, a dachshund or a Pekingese. I could make a paper dog to float across the water if I had the art. A mania for that solo traveller, his clear expanse makes me champ till I draw cloudier fibres from my teeth. We put down roots. And the next poem, second to last, this is the title poem, and I'm really grateful to Jennifer for suggesting this as the title poem, which I hadn't thought of before as being a potential title for the pamphlet as a whole, but I really love it now, so thank you, Jennifer, for doing that. I think it's great. And it's page 14 in the pamphlet, if you're following along. Animal noises. My husband and I talk in normal voices in the public baths, at the ATM, the supermarket, under space heaters at the open-air bar, and with friends. But indoors, we wheedle like baby mosquitoes. I bleat like a sheep and drop my drawers at whim. He mews like a stomped fox. We've been doing this for years now. Honestly, I don't know how it ends. I'm half curious, half fearful to see what happens if one day at work, someone addresses me in the wrong tone and I slobber at them in the mode of besotted piglet or gloomy flounder. Honey, what then? And then the final poem I'll read, the final poem this evening, I think, is the last poem in the pamphlet, and it's called Sardines. And though there's nothing particularly wrong with me, I don't think love is the answer. I loose a clod of sardines into the bowl and watch each silver streak pant for the rim. Loose coins coat the bottom of my bag, Lord, always unearthing, always patting down. I didn't crave too fine a silt, but the tiny vertebrae dissolve so slowly, and after all, I'm fastidious, pasting mulch with the flat of a spoon. I dismiss impossible bones as the scales shrink to grey, like panic subsiding.
Thank you, Phoebe. Thanks so much to everyone. Thank you, Phoebe. That was great. It's just so hard to believe that in this very strange time we live in, we are actually able to hear poetry read, to react to it, to see each other on screen. And for that, I'm very grateful. I get more pleasure every time I hear these poems read, and I get something different from them every time. So it's just a real joy to hear the three of you read aloud. And it sort of, you know, makes my project in publishing these pamphlets have a sort of a fruition, as it were. So thank you so much. And I'm really glad you were able to all be here tonight and hear these poets. And that's the end of our evening. There's lots of nice chat comments in the side if the poets want to sort of have a look at them. I don't know if you've been able to at all. And otherwise, you know, happy Halloween. I'm not sure what the mood is now, but you know, I don't have to end it for everyone. What do you think, Caroline?
If there are people here who haven't seen each other for ages, you know, we can let people unmute themselves and just say hi, as long as everyone doesn't try and talk at once.
Yes, yeah, we'll unmute you all, but just know that everyone can hear you. So.
I think people have to unmute themselves, Jennifer.
Okay. Do they? Yeah. Click your little mute button if you want to unmute yourself.
Jen.
Thanks, Jackie. It's a pleasure. I love hearing them all in person.
And all the poets, wonderful work, really, really inspiring. Thank you so much.
Yes, thumbs up for everyone.
I agree. All really, really good. Lovely hearing a Belfast accent as well.
Derry.
Derry, sorry.
Great.
Jen, so what's on everyone's plate next for all of these poets? What can they tell us? Do they feel comfortable talking about what they have upcoming, or ideas, or anything like that?
Yes, what's next, poets?
Sorry, I'm not sure who is talking then. I can't see.
She has her Danish American Chamber of Commerce symbol up, so you can't tell who she is. So you can't see her.
Thanks so much, Jen.
You're welcome.
And love to Jess, and I can see Charlie and Natasha and Mum. Hiya, Mum. I'm back.
I wrote you a note in the chat box. I sent you
a note back, but I couldn't find out how to send it to you personally.
This is becoming a bit of a Greg Levitas fan.
It's too silly.
Sorry.
Call me, we'll talk, okay?
We'll talk later.
All right.
Oh, you guys. Fantastic poets.
The poets were so beautiful. These poems are so beautiful. Thank you. Oh, we are in the US with snow everywhere. So this was so needed and so beautiful. And it's Halloween, grim Halloween here. But, you know, all right. I'm leaving. It was lovely to just see your faces. I'm gonna go cook. Okay, bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, love.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Stay safe, yes.
Poets, I will email you soon.
Thank you again, Jennifer. Thank you
Yes,
for
thank
hosting
you.
this, and to Caroline for being wonderful
Yes.
tech support. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much. I'm going
Thank you so
to
much.
end the Zoom if that's okay with everyone.
Go for it.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Bliss.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bye. Happy Halloween,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Thanks, Caroline.